To this point over here, we have our complementary solution. Now let's go over to MATLAB and let me erase this work so that we can do it again together. So we already did this part right here, and we have our complementary solution. Now we're going to define the fundamental matrix. And to define this fundamental matrix, all we have to do is, well, I'll call it phi, is have these solutions written independently. So let's say writing this, I don't want to use like math words. So writing the solutions individually. So that's going to be x1, and what is that going to be? It's going to be this solution over here, and x2 is going to be this solution over here. So x2 is going to be equal to this, and I want it to output here, so I won't put a semicolon. Then my fundamental is going to be this, separated by a comma instead of a semicolon, because we're concatenating two vector functions or two vector variables, and I want to see it. Now I'm going to define the inverse, which is going to be, well, I'm not going to define it, I'm actually just going to find it. So here I'm going to say finding the inverse, and then I know that my finding u of t, and I know that u of t is equal to the integral of pho of t times f of t. And we don't actually need to put t in there, but we do need to specify with respect to what variable. It's a good idea to do it anyway. Now once we have this, we can find the particular, finding the particular solution, because it's really just going to be u of t times, no, you have to make sure you don't change the order, because order matters in this case. So this is going to be the particular solution. Now we want to check the particular solution, and so to do that, we're going to say that the derivative of my solution has to be equal to a times my solution plus f, and we're going to have it output all of these things and see where we're getting. So up to this point, there's an error here. Let's see. So here I can confirm to you that we're getting what we should be getting, and here there's something I did wrong, and that is I had to put a double equal sign, because equality is given by a double equal sign in MATLAB. And then I should get the same thing on the left and on the right, which I do, which means that this solution is a proper solution. Okay, now we can define the general solution. And if I define the general solution, what is it going to be? Well, it's going to be the complementary plus the particular. We have the complementary over here and the particular over here. We could add a t if we wanted to here. So now the general solution is going to be x complementary of t plus x particular of t. And now what we want to do is we want to find C1 and C2 with the initial condition, which is x of 0 here is equal to 0, 0. So we take x of 0 here and we say that it's got to be equal to the vector 0, 0. Now we put this into the solve function with a comma, telling it what we want to solve for, which is C1 and C2, which we know are in there because they're right here. And we just took this and we put it over here to define this function. So now we're going to want the C1 and C2 to be renamed. And so we're going to have this, and then defining the specific solution, what we do is we take this and we rewrite it, because then we know that MATLAB is now going to have C1 and C2 values in there stored for these symbols plus XP. And then we want to check the final solution to make sure it is still valid. So derivative of x equals a times x plus f. Press Control Enter and we see what's going on. We get an identity, so we know that it is correct, and this is our final answer. And these are all the different steps outputted here. Now, there's a couple things that could happen. We could not have distinct eigenvalues like we did in this case, in which case you'd have to be a little bit more careful in defining this solution. Because the second solution, if we have repeated eigenvalues where we can find two independent vectors, fine. But if we don't, I suggest to just use this function and then do the augmented matrices to find K and P. And then from that, simply write it by hand and define it by hand here before doing this step, which is going to be the same. I hope this was useful, and I wish you best of luck on all your endeavors. Bye.